And now this for you. Berkeley students, some of them threatened to sue the university if Ann Coulter isn't allowed to speak on Thursday. That's the day when she was supposed to speak. That's the day she wants to speak. Get this too. Anti-Israel activist Linda Sarsour will speak at City University of New York on the graduation day. All rise, Judge Napolitano is here. What a contradiction.
I know. I'm shaking my head because we should not be surprised that academia will further its own ideals, its supposed ideals, which really is left-wing propaganda, rather than the freedom of speech. Look, these are both public schools. CUNY, City University of New York, is owned by the state of New York. Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley, is owned by the state of California. So they're regulated by the Constitution. But the Supreme Court has said, as inexplicable as this sounds, government has the freedom of speech. So government, even though this end of government is controlled by left-wing academia, can decide how it wants to spend its money and what speakers it wants to put on. I don't believe the students have a cause of action against Berkeley, because Berkeley can decide who to put on. Ann Coulter has a cause of action against Berkeley. She had a contractual relationship with them, and it's beyond a contractual relationship. It's a contractual relationship with government. Government regulated by the First Amendment, which has a duty and an obligation to protect her right to speak and the right of the students to hear her.
Now, the University of Berkeley, they want Ann Coulter to speak on May the 2nd, not on this Thursday when Ann Coulter was due to speak. Now, they said, okay, you can speak on May the 2nd. If she fronts up on May the 2nd, then the police there, or the campus authorities, they got a choice. They can support free speech and protect her, or they can go against free speech and arrest her.
How could they possibly arrest her? I mean,
Well, they could arrest her on Thursday. If she turns up, and that's not the day when she's supposed to speak,
she can't be
they could do that?
Yeah, she can't be arrested for showing up and seeking the right to speak on public property, nor could she be arrested for the conflagration that her words cause. That's called the heckler's veto, where the heckler decides to make so much noise in combination with others. They are effectively vetoing the right of the speaker to speak, and then the speaker gets blamed. The Supreme Court has ruled directly on point. You can't blame the speaker because of what the hecklers do. So we have a very difficult problem on our hands by a fundamental misunderstanding of freedom of speech on the part of the government. When the government engages a speaker, the government has a duty to protect that speaker's right to speak and the listener's rights to hear what the speaker is going to say.
Did you know that Bernie Sanders has come out and said Ann Coulter should be allowed to speak, listen to her point of view? That's Bernie Sanders.
Bernie is pretty good on civil liberties, and he's excellent on the freedom of speech, and he himself has suffered at the hands of hecklers who disagree with him and who've tried to silence him. The purpose of the First Amendment is to allow, encourage, and protect the intercourse of ideas, no matter how harshly those ideas might be expressed. The theory being the intercourse of ideas leads to truth, leads to an illumination, leads to help people think for themselves.
These truths we hold self-evident.
Yes.
I got that right?
Yes, but you thought he was a traitor. That was Thomas Jefferson.
Moving swiftly along. But thank you, Judge. I believe you're coming back in the 11 o'clock hour.
George III thought he was a traitor, not you.
There you go. Thank you very much indeed.